Hello, and welcome to Glow Up Girly, where we are here to help you heal, grow, and glow. I am your local auntie, TT Rosie, and today's subject we are talking about five tips on how you know that you are romanticizing those red flags that this man is showing you. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the topic of conversation, right? So, if you keep calling it loyalty when it's really trauma bonding, this one's for you. The first topic is stop confusing consistency and chaos with love, right? So, basically, if you are with someone, right, they hurt you, they keep doing things to you and overstepping those boundaries that you have set for them, and you guys break up, you split up, whatever. You let them come back because they beg, they plead. I'm so sorry. I promise I won't do it again, yada, yada. And they come back and they turn around, do the same thing again. You tell them, look, don't do this anymore. You guys, have a disagreement. They leave, break up, whatever. They come back. You like, look, I'm tired of you steady keep doing this to me. Oh, baby, I promise. I promise I won't do it no more. I promise I love you. I put that on my kids. I put that on my mama. I put that on everything. I promise I won't do this to you anymore. You like, okay, I'm gonna give you this one last time. They do it again. They leave, they break up, and they like, look, I'm going through some stuff. I just got so much on my mind. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. The cycle continues. It's a cycle. You know what I mean? It's something that's keep happening because what's really going on is um you set those boundaries, they overstep those boundaries. And after they overstep those boundaries, um, you still let them come back. So when you let them come back, maybe in your mind, you might think like, oh, since I let them come back, they're not going to do it again, or you know they know I'm for real, right? So they're not going to try me no more. But in their mind, even if they may not consciously exactly think this, they feel it. They feel like, oh, she's a doormat. I can do what I want to do and she's going to take me back. They may not say it out loud, but it's somewhere in their mind. Because how do we know this? Because they keep overstepping your boundaries. They keep doing it, right? So it's chaotic. It's chaotic when you can't get a moment of peace because every time you turn around, this person is constantly overstepping your boundaries. And you think it's love because they're gone. And then they say, oh, I can't stop thinking about you. I miss you so much. Please, can I come back? And then you let them back. And not even a living together situation. It could be a living together situation, but it could just be, a boy, you letting them back in your heart. Not even, it don't have to be just in your home, but you just allowing them to have a place in your life. It's chaotic. It's toxic. All of this back and forth, back and forth. That's definitely a red sign. And we ignore that red sign or that red flag. We ignore that red flag because that person is coming back with their hat in their hand and they're like, I'm so sorry. And they soften themselves up, but just enough to get back in and only to be good just for a little while and then turn around and do the same thing to you again. Number two is don't let their potential blind you. A red flag in this is, let's say, for example, um, a man, he looks good. He's very strong physically, and he looks like, he seemed like he's a good candidate for a job, but he don't have a job. And he's telling you like, oh, I've been looking for a job and, I'm having a hard time. But you see his potential. You see, like, oh, once he find a job, he'll be okay. Um, he might have a bunch of kids, but he's a good dad to them. Even though you probably are somebody who at first you didn't even want to be with somebody who has kids. Um, I'm just using those as small examples, but basically, a lot of times we look at a person's potential on what we think in our mind that they can eventually be. And when we are clouding our mind so much with what we think a person can be, we are blinding ourselves to what they really are, right? You only know a person by what they show you, not what they're saying, I can abracadabra do. No, you know that person by what they are showing you, right? So a lot of times we see that potential. We see that, oh, he can be a good man, or he can stop selling what he's outside selling, or he can find a job. He can do better with taking care of his kids. He can treat women better. All of these things. We need to realize that we cannot change people, and we have to start accepting people at face value, accepting people for who they are and what they are. Because when we open ourselves up to people who have potential and we are blind to what they really are, later down the line, when those blinders come off, we be so disappointed. We don't have anybody to blame but ourselves because we allowed ourselves to be blind to the fact of what they really are. And let's just be real, like, I'm sure a lot of us have done it. I'm sure a lot of us have given in to people who has potential. But a lot of times those people who have the potential, they wind up being piss poor. Very piss poor. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about, it could be financially, but mentally, emotionally, just piss poor. So we really need to pay attention to that. Stop being blind to the potential and accept the situation for what it really is and see that person for who they really are. And we got to start taking those blinders off. Break them off. Okay? And we need to start looking everywhere and seeing the whole situation for what it really is. Number 3, passion should not feel like anxiety. Right? So a lot of times in relationships, we go through highs and lows. But even though we're going through those highs and lows, we shouldn't feel so much anxiety all the time. You know what I mean? If a person is constantly causing you anxiety, it's anxiety. It's not love. A lot of times we get it confused, especially when we've gotten physical with that person. And we created ties with that person. Um, so when they do things to us to hurt us, um, it causes us anxiety. But when they come back to us, or we make up or whatever, we say it's love. It's not. Love should not constantly and consistently cause you anxiety, right? So in all relationships, we all go through things. We all go through disagreements and things like that. But when it's constantly one sided, when it's constantly that one side that's always causing the commotion, the chaos, the disagreements, the problems, we need to reevaluate this relationship. It's a red flag. It should not always be the one person constantly doing things all the time, right? It's a red flag. So that's something we need to take our blinders off and stop ignoring, right? It should be a healthy relationship, okay? Like, healthy relationships do exist and healthy relationships are possible, but we will never know that if we keep remaining in the unhealthy, toxic relationships. Number 4, love isn't meant to hurt so good. This world is so full of toxic relationships that we think it's the norm. A lot of times we think it's the norm. We think that it's okay. I think that media, like social media, television, the music that we listen to, they romanticize toxic relationships so much to the point where we think it's normal. We think it's okay. And to be honest, we be talking about we're toxic. We be saying things like, not me personally, but just as a people, I hear a lot of us say we're toxic. I'm toxic. My toxic trait. That's not healthy. Being toxic is not healthy. So a lot of times, we get into these relationships with people, and they constantly hurt us, but they keep coming back to us. So since they hurt us and they keep coming back to us, the fact that they keep coming back to us, we feel like it's okay, right? And a lot of us don't truly know what love is. Love should not consistently hurt us. Love should not neglect us. Love is an action verb, right? It love is not just sitting there, just the word love. It's not just sitting there, right? Love is this. Love is doing, right? You know how they say actions speak louder than words. So if someone loves you, they can't just sit in it and just say, "Oh, I love you," right? They have to show you. They need to be doing it. They need to be showing you that they love you. And I'm not saying like, oh, they have to wait on you hand and foot. They have to run around, do this and do that. No, love comes in many ways. Love can be just that person calling you, maybe just to check on you, see how you're feeling, see how you're doing. Love is many things. There's many ways. I could just list a bunch of ways that someone can actually show you that they love you. But I'm gonna tell you what love is not. Love is not lies. Love is not manipulation. Love is not abuse, abuse. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to say that word, right? And what's really tough is love bombing, because sometimes a person can come to us and they can be so sweet and so nice and say all the right things to us, right? And we feel like, oh, this person just loved me so much. Oh, that's my man, my man, my man, right? But you need to give it time. Give it time to really see if that person really loves you. Because if it's not love, that mask gonna slip. And those signs are actually going to be there. Those red flags are going to be there before that mask slips, right? And when that mask do slip, we need to evaluate or reevaluate our relationship with that person. Because one thing love is consistent. If a person really love you, they will be consistent with you in a good way. If they're consistent with you in a bad way, that is not love. If someone loves you, they would take your feelings into consideration. If you tell that person, you hurt me, I don't like that you said this to me, or I don't like that you said that to me. If that person loves you, they would take in consideration how your actions made them feel, and they would not do things contrary to what you tell them that you want them to do, and then blame you for their actions. That's manipulation. Number 5, you are not here to fix them. Okay? I have to say that loud and I have to say it strong. You are not here to fix them. You are not a therapist. Well, some of y'all probably are therapists. I don't know. Some people, women do go to school for therapy, but it is not your job to fix him. If he came to you broken, he gonna leave broken. Okay? It's not your job to fix a grown man. It is not. We have to get to a place where we understand that we cannot change a person. We cannot. And these men will be telling you, they will be like, oh, I need you. I need you. Could you gotta help me. I'm trying to change. No, you should have been worked on that before you got in a relationship with me in the first place. So as women, that's something that we got bad. And we need to really work on this. We really need to work on this. We cannot change these men. We have to start meeting people where they are. And once we see where they are and how they are mentally and how they treat us and all of their, the things that they're doing, we need to reevaluate. I know I talk about reevaluating a lot, but I'm serious. We really need to, because all of these red flags that keep popping up and popping up and popping up, and we like, oh, well, he loved me. Oh, well, he promised he was gonna change, and he said he was gonna do this. He said he was gonna do, and he did nothing. We need to really sit back and take inventory on all the things that we have given, all of our emotions that we have given, and what has been reciprocated. What came back to us, right? Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of these men, they are emotional energy vampires, right? And we don't need that. We need to get to a place where we are putting ourselves first and we are loving ourselves first. And I'm going to say this too. Um, Love bombing is very real. If you meet someone, this is a bonus red flag, and they are not long out of a relationship, and you as well, that's not healthy. We need to reevaluate ourselves whenever we get out of a relationship. We need to take time to reflect, take inventory, and truly work on ourselves. So a lot of times we get love bombed because the person who we get with, they have not fully healed or dealt with their past or prior experiences. So that's something that we really need to think about. We get hurt a lot, but it's because we are allowing ourselves to be hurt because we keep accepting too much. A lot of times when you're with somebody, they'll keep doing things and they'll manipulate you to the point where they have you feeling like it's both of y'all, right? And they'll be like, oh, well, we and us, and even people on the outside, they're like, y'all. A lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's that person who's constantly doing things. The mistake that we make is staying in things too long. The mistake that we make is trusting people who should not be trusted. The mistake that we make is allowing our boundaries to be overstepped and not cutting people off after they've overstepped our boundaries. So I say all that to say this. When we see those red flags, I'm not saying you see one red flag, you just say, oh, I'm done with them. But what I'm saying is we need to start using our better judgment and also having enough self-love and self-worth within ourselves to the point where we feel like I'm that girl, I'm her. And if he don't see it, he got to go. So let's watch these red flags. And when we see these red flags, it's time to make some decisions. Okay? It's not the end of the world. If this man leave, if he's gone, okay. It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to be alone and to be single for however long it takes until that person come along who truly respects you, who truly wants you, who truly desire you. And that person is out there, you know, but you're never going to find him if you keep hanging on to the toxic red flag man. And I have to learn that myself as well. I wouldn't tell you guys anything that I don't know or that I have not dealt with myself. All right. So let's be smart. Let's care about ourselves. And lastly, let's stop allowing other people like men to validate us and who we are within ourselves. Okay. And this is just something that just popped into my head. I was about to close out, but I just want to say this before I go. We got to stop saying, well, my man like it. I don't care if my man like it. What about what you like? We should not allow what somebody else like validate who we are. So a lot of times we avoid those red flags or we ignore those red flags because we have not evaluated ourselves and truly realized who we are. And that's something that we need to work on. Let's strengthen ourselves first and build up that armor so that when someone does come along and they have those red flags, we can go ahead and fight them off and get them up out of here. All right. So if you found value in this conversation, I definitely implore you to like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to add to the conversation, definitely please leave it below and maybe talk about your red flag situations. I would love to hear it. So thank you so much for joining. Once again, I am your local auntie, TT Rosie, and this is Glow Up Girly. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.